Hey everyone, Gage Ryan here to showcase my Traptrix deck for you guys. So this is a bit of a nostalgic profile to me because I've been playing Traptrix in some form or fashion since 2013. Shout out to Bobby Kenny when he topped back in Dragoonity Ruler format with like when Dux was everywhere and all that. He topped with this weird Mist Valley Falcon Traptrix stun deck that played like 3 normal trap holes for Dux plays and whatnot. It was really cool. And so since then I've always played this deck in some form or fashion, and I mean I was as happy and excited as anybody else when the Traptrix structure deck got announced. And so, I mean, I really like a lot of the support. I feel the deck's kind of linear now. It relies on Sarah quite a bit. But I mean, just in general, the deck is super powerful. So I love it. I mean, I'm not going to stop playing it now that the deck's good, right? So, so anyways, we'll get right into things. So started off 3 Myrmilio, standard. 3 Mantis. I don't know why some people play 2. Play 3. 3 Putica. I know some people only play 2, but I don't. I like 3 because this and any other Traptrix monster is basically full combo. And I mean, Traptrix Orchard or Garden, whatever. Traptrix Orchard's really good, and so just being able to have access to it at any time is really good. I feel it's like a Gravekeeper's Commandant almost, but you can make Sarah with it later, which is cool. And triple Arachnacampa. This card's really good. I bring it back end phase with Putica a lot, or excuse me, I bring it back end phase with Kalaria a lot, and it's just because it's such a good way to protect your stuff sometimes. And I mean, again, special it from hand, you do it by yourself, great card. And then the last Traptrix monster, 1 Dynea. You see, I don't know how I feel about this card because I open this fucking thing all the time, even at 1. So I don't know. I had the same problem when I ran Traptrix Artifacts at a regional back in the day, where I played 3 Myrmilio and just 1 Dynea, and finally I just cut the Dynea and didn't play it at regionals because I just drew it too much. But in this deck, I feel like it's probably a staple, and it's really good whenever you get those plays off. If you have like Putica and Dynea, that's a great combo. So then, on to the non-Traptrix monsters, you got 3 Parallel Exceed. I love this card. I don't know why people cut this card when the structure deck came out. This card's fantastic. It's a free level 4. I never cut it, and I don't know why people did. It's just, anytime I get a free Time Thief Redoer, a free Abyss Dweller, I mean, every single monster, every single Traptrix monster makes a Link 1, so there's no reason not to play this card, in my opinion, outside of, like, space. And then last monster is 3 Ash. So I stick by my, I mentioned this before, that like I feel that, like, okay, Traptrix Sarah and 3 back row is good, but in my opinion, Traptrix Sarah, 2 back row, and an Ash Blossom is way stronger. So I love Ash. I mean, pretty much any deck in the game that I play Ash, because it's just, until it gets banned, I'm gonna keep playing it. So onto the spells, there's a whopping 2 of them, and it's 2 Garden. So, like, I hate Traptrix Allure. I think that card is just trash, in my opinion. Like, it's just another card that's Ash food, in my opinion. It never works for me. I don't like Allure-based cards in the first place. Like, anytime I play a Dark deck, I hardly ever play Allure of Darkness, and so I feel Traptrix Allure kind of falls into the same category. I mean, like, I don't know. I'm just not a fan of it. It never worked for me. It doesn't really help with the consistency all that much, in my opinion. People can play it if they want. I'm not saying don't play it. I'm just saying it doesn't work for me, so I stick with the 2 Garden. I was actually playing Pot of Prosperity for a little while, and I actually like that in the deck more than Traptrix Allure, even just as a 1-up or something like that, because obviously you need your extra deck, but I just think it's a way better card than Traptrix Allure, so that's my opinion. And I also don't play Holotea. We'll get to that in a second. I don't like Holotea because I hate pitching a card out of my hand. I mean, it kind of reminds me of like the old Summoner Monk plays you used to do with windups after a Magician got put to 1, and they banned the Exceed and all that, where it's like, okay, you have to have Shark, Summoner Monk, and a spell. It's like you have to have 2 specific monsters and a spell. If you have 2 specific monsters and a trap, you're not doing shit. Holotea feels like that card to me because you need to have another trap hole in your hand in order to play it turn 1, and I hate that. It never worked for me. Not a fan. So that's why those cards are not in there. Onto the traps. You got 3 Evenly. I have no clue why this card's still in the game, and I have no clue why I have no clue why they decided to print it in the structure deck. It's so good though. I mean, if it's here, you gotta play it, right? 3 Imperm, probably the most versatile trap in the entire deck. Card's very, very good. I mean, just being able to trigger Sarah whenever you want, negate an effect. So then 3 D-Barrier. This card's really good. I mean, first of all, I love it. Again, this deck's like Branded or anything that plays like fusion spells and whatnot. But just in general, good against pendulums and all that stuff. But just in general, I like having this because it's a card that I can flip at any time. If I have Sarah on play, I can just trigger this whenever I want. And then if my opponent was like setting up for a big fusion play or setting up for a big Exceed play, you call this and it makes them go another route with it, and it triggers Sarah. So very, very good card, in my opinion. So then I got 3 Shade. So I'll say again, like, I just don't think Holte is a very good card. Like, I hate pitching out of my hand, I hate losing resources, I don't give a flying fuck about the graveyard effect, I don't think it's relevant at all. I like being able to play this turn 1 every single time, trigger my Sarah, and get to my ranks. So I think this card's better, personally. So onto the trap holes, you got 1 Floodgate, probably the best one. I use this with Kalaria a ton and just keep flipping it back face down. The card's very annoying and it's very unfair, and that's why I like it. 1 Traptrix Trap Hole Nightmare, I love this card. I mean, just anything that special summons is going to activate a monster effect, so there's no reason not to play it. The 1 Gravedigger, for now I like it. I did actually game someone with this at locals the other day, because the 2000 burn damage can actually be very relevant sometimes. 1 Terrifier Trap Hole, see if anybody gets that reference, but yeah, this is good. It's basically a bottomless trap hole whenever you're, like, you can kind of play whenever, so good card. And then my favorite trap hole in the entire game, 1 Time Space Trap Hole. I've been playing this card since Duelist Alliance, basically, and I just never stopped. This card's so good. It's so good against Pendulum Summons, good against Fusion cards. I mean, if your opponent Pendulum Summons 5 monsters and you Time Space it, they're all going back. So, card is fantastic. I will always defend this card. I love it. Great card. And then, round it out, 2 Solemn Judgments. I'm not a huge fan of this card in the main deck a lot of times because you don't want to go second and get caught behind with cards like this. But at the same time, like, there's so many Lightning Storm is everywhere, evenly matched. Like, you gotta have answers to these cards, or like Twin Twister, Feather Duster, whatever have you. So, you gotta play what you gotta play. On to the extra deck. So the extra deck is 14 cards right now because I'm still looking for a Garura. If anyone has a like Super Poly target Garura that you want to trade to me or sell to me or give to me because you love me, that'd be great. So here's the extra deck. You got 3 Sarahs, staple, obvious. 3 Kalaria. 3 is definitely not necessary. You could get away with 2. You could probably get away with 1, to be honest, but I'd absolutely play at least 2. But for now, it's 3. You got the 1 Oedipus. This card's really good. I don't play it very often, but it can absolutely like win you games when you play it. You got the 1 Alamarus. Good card. You know, just gets you more advantage and whatnot. My favorite Exceeds in the entire deck. Time Thief Redoer and Abyss Dweller. I abuse the living shit out of these cards. Going into Alamarus and all these other cards is good. I think that these can be better in a lot of cases. You know, Abyss Dweller single-handedly locks out a lot of decks, and Time Thief Redoer is so damn annoying because it'll keep stealing your opponent's stuff. You can keep drawing cards off it if you pick spells, which is a big theme nowadays, is that you're going to get spells more than you're going to get traps or even monster effects sometimes. So Time Thief Redoer is good for drawing cards, good for shuffling stuff back, it's good as a wind-up rabbit. I mean, in my opinion, it's one of the best Exceeds in the entire game. I don't get why more people don't play it. Then you got Castell, which is a filler. It may be in here, may not be, but we'll see what happens. Onto the Super Play targets, you got Starving Venom, Predaplant, and Mud Dragon. Like I said, the Garura will be in here too. And then there are 2 cards that I'm considering putting in that I just kind of haven't figured out what I would take out for yet. The first one is Karen Gorgon. I'm not sure about this, but like it's good at protecting floodgates and things like that. It can maybe protect your field spell in a pinch, but we'll see. And then Cowboy, which sounds ridiculous, but yeah, you can actually game people with Cowboy fairly regularly. It's actually funny how often your opponent gets to 800 or below. And I think about putting in Cowboy all the time, but for now, that's the extra deck. So that's about it. I really hope you guys enjoyed the profile. I know my list is a little different than what you'd see from a conventional list, but I hope you guys understand why I'm playing the spots that I am. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Leave any suggestions or any feedback in the comments, and I'll see you soon.